Welcome back to another lesson. Today we're going to be talking about Fibonacci, and we can find Fibonacci everywhere. It's pretty crazy. So if you want to have a deeper dive into it, you probably should read about it, or there's some documentaries about it. It's very, very interesting, and we find it everywhere around us in our bodies. So here you can see this is our DNA, and you can measure it with the Fibonacci sequence. As well, let's take a look on more examples. Our bodies. You can measure our bodies with the Fibonacci. Our faces, which is pretty cool. Here I have some more examples that we can find this Fibonacci sequence in storms, in galaxies, in flowers, plants, everywhere. It's pretty crazy. So this is a specific number sequence that it follows. And again, I'm not going to be going too deep into it. And you can see even Trump haircut has Fibonacci. And we can see galaxy and hurricanes, and they're all following the Fibonacci sequence, which is pretty cool. Today, we're going to be talking about how we use Fibonacci for our trading, and you can use these tools with the crypto market, you can use it with the forex market, you can use it with the stock market. It's good for everything. So you would like to find, you would want to find this Fibonacci in this area. You can check it on Binance, on TradingView, any other place. That's what you're looking for, Fib retracement. You click it, and then you want to find out where is our bottom, where is our top, and pull it from this side to this side. So we would like to pull, for now I just pull it. If we're looking to the upside, we're going to put from the bottom to the top. And I know your Fibonacci doesn't look exactly like this, so you can double tap it, or after you click it, you can go to the settings. But let's say I usually double tap it, and we have all of this area. So you can take a look how I did it, and I'll explain a little bit later why I'm doing it this way. So just you can select the number, you can change the color here, or you can take it off. These are the numbers that I have, so you can add them up, and we're going to be talking why is that. As well, here the background, there's a trend line here that you can make it visible. You can change a color for it if you want. Me, I'm not using it. As well, there's the levels, how thick you would like the lines to be. For me, I like it pretty thin, not jumping into my face too much. And you can also change it from side. You can extend it to the right. So however you want. Me, I'm usually just like it the way it is. So I'm keeping it like this, and I'm not touching anything in these areas. So after you change all of that, so you can pause the video, put all of them, and then you click OK. Make sure you click OK so it will save the changes. So these areas we see from 0.5 to 0.61, 0.65. Mostly I see most of the cryptos and Bitcoin, we always like to come back to that area. So this is very important area, and as well this called as a golden Fibonacci retracement area. So, and we will see why this area is so important and why I'm always looking at that area. So let's grab, we can identify our bottom. We're gonna click here. You can be as perfect and precise as you want, and you pull it all the way to the top. So I'm just pulling it always a little bit more extra because I want to figure out what's going to be happening in the future. And then we're looking to see where can we reach on our way down after we found this top area. So as you can see, we reach all the way to 0.61. Of course, it's not going to be perfect every time, but these are the areas that we start looking and paying attention to Of course, in a very strong downtrend, we can continue going and we can go even below this line. And that's where these numbers are helping me, the numbers that you just added. So here we can figure out how far the price can fall down. And as well, we can do it on the other way that I'm going to show, how high the price can go. So these are very helpful Fibonacci retracement area, and we're going to be talking about them shortly. So as well, you can see on the way down, we found some support on 0.23. Then we found some support at 0.38. And then when we broke it, we didn't just flew all the way down. We find some support at 0.5, and then we made our way to 0.61. And on our way up, where we found support, again, on 0.5, we find resistance on 0.38, and so on. We can continue and see what's happened. So on our way up, after we broke the 0.38, we went all the way up to our previous top, and then when we fell down, we see the support, the candle closed, but the wick went all the way to 0.38. So we can see that these levels are very helpful for us to understand what's going on. And as well, you don't want to just look at one tool and say, okay, if the price came to 0.61, I'm buying for sure. You want to look left if you have where to look, and you want to see, did we have some significant levels in this area? In this case, yeah, we had some resistance here, where we had some, this was area for support and resistance here a lot. Here after we broke it, we found resistance, we went down. Here we found strong resistance, and I don't have more history for this one, but overall we can see there was pretty strong area of confluence. So we'll start looking at this area and see what's going on. As well, each area that we stop in, we can see that we stop in this area. We found some support, we broke it, then we found here some resistance. And where we're looking left, and we see that this area was acting as support. After we broke it, it was resistance. So we can see that all these levels, they're very important. And usually we like to see after big runs of price, the price retrace on this. So right now we as well looking on a daily chart. You can always go on a smaller, let's go on an hourly chart, and let's find where we are, and we can find same things as well. Let's take a look, for example, this area. So we drew it, we found our bottom here, found our top, and now we want to figure out where we're going. So on our way down, we see we were able to find our support at 0.5 right before we reach. So again, we don't want to just look at one indicator that shows us. We want to find out, okay, there is some support resistance here. There was some resistance here, very strong. We had some, and we find in support right now. So you can be looking for a short trade and start putting your entries. You can put one entry in this area. You can put one entry maybe a little bit lower. In this case, we didn't went any lower, but it would trigger your entry here, the first one, and we could already start getting some profits here. In the short run, you could make 4 or 5% profit, which is great profit. And then if you as well using leverage, so obviously you profiting much more. But if you trade me specifically, when I'm trading on a daily, on hourly and short trades, if you're scalping, I'm looking probably, if I'm starting stacking my orders in this area where I see some confluence that we see as well, this area, resistance, support. So if I would start buying here, I would enter here if we reach this area, and probably I'll be looking to exit somewhere here because we see we're reaching 0.38 plus. Let's see what area this. We have here support, we have here support. We have here strong resistance. So I'll be looking for a short scalp, for a short trade, make some 4 or 5% profit and get out. So you see how helpful it is. And then we start going up, we found some resistance. And then when we reach this area and we broke under this support, we just went all the way down. We made here double bottom and we start going up after that. So this is just one way to look at this, and we can find it in anywhere. Wherever you see, you find your bottom, you find your top, you go to the right, and we can see we went up. When we retraced, we went to 0.5. Next time when we retraced and we couldn't break this resistance area here, look where we got. So that's what I'm saying, that we can take a look left. So we see that this support, we broke it. Let's see to the left. Well, it's too far. We can see we broke this area, and I could start putting some orders here. And we see that here we have some resistance. Here we have some support. So I'll be looking in this golden Fibonacci area retracement, start stacking my orders. So I would put some orders here, I would put some orders here, and looking for the upside. So then you get yourself from here and here pretty good average in the middle, and you can start being profitable fairly soon. Okay, and again, if you hold for a while, you can always, if you see you're going up, you can take 50% off the table or 75%, and then hold 25% and see how far you can get. So there's a lot of strategies how you can do it as well. When you enter in, usually I'm not entering at one point. I'm always trying to find myself few points of entries while we're going down, and we've seen here a fairly strong downtrend. And when we start reaching this, I'm starting looking at support resistance. I'm starting looking at these areas as well. We're going to be talking about RSI in the future. And when you combine the RSI and you combine the Fibonacci here, the Fibonacci retracement, then it will show you more confluence, and it will show you higher probability of success to know when to enter. So I'm going to be looking as well on the RSI, and again, we'll talk about in the future, and it will create magic for you and will be very, very helpful. So whatever we were talking about now, this is we were measuring from the bottom, we're going up. So let's see what happens when we're going to take a look from the top to the bottom. So this is usually we're doing at the bearish movement. So we had a bearish price action here, and now when we found our bottom, we want to figure out what's going to be happening after that. Okay, so here we go. We went all the way down, and where we come back to 0.65. Again, on the way there, we can see we found here some resistance, we broke it, and we stopped in this area as well. That's why I'm using the 0.70 and 0.78. It helps me to kind of figure out where the price can stop if we crossing the 0.65, 0.61, and then I continue. So I'm starting looking at this area. I want to start getting to the short position. I'll put a short here, I'll put a short here, and I'll be looking maybe to put another short here to create myself a nice average. So in this way, I would have two orders triggered, and we're going down and we're making profit. And on the way down, we can take a little bit profit, and we can see that if I would be making here a couple entries, here probably would be my average, and we could make a nice 11% profit. Even if you would be coming out at 0.5, you'd still be able to make 6%, which is a lot. Again, and especially if you use leverage, that's great profits. Okay, and then as well, what do we need when we go in bearish and we want to see where the price can get in the future? If we don't have any price action on the left and we cannot look where support resistance, this will be very helpful. we can extend it more, and we can see where we might find some resistance on our way up. So we saw that we were able to break this top, and after we broke this top, we know that here we have some resistance. So we were able to see that we found some resistance on the way up. But let's get this out of the way. So where would be our next resistance? See, we found some on the 1.272. We went a little bit above, and then we went down. And then we start going up again. We start looking, okay, maybe we're going to find here some next resistance, and we have found here some resistance. So you can see that these extensions, they're very helpful. And I'm going to show you some more examples. Let's go on daily. Okay, as well, we can grab this, and I believe Cardano, it was about $1. Yeah, we can move all the way from the top to the bottom and see what's happening. So again, when we start going up with the Cardano, these areas helping us to figure out where can we stop. So we were going up, and you can see that we had some support resistance in this area as well. We're looking left, and we can see as well that there was some resistance in this area. As we broke it, we had a very good idea that we're going to be going up. Then we found support on our way down exactly at this level. And when we broke the 0.61, then we came back and we found support in 0.5. So you can see that if you would want to start entering your shorts, we're going to be looking at the RSI, which would be very helpful in every situation, especially like this, that if you start putting your entries in 0.65, and it's a pretty high up area, you would have to be stocking next order 8% above, and next order 14 to 15% above, or maybe here. But we need to understand that here we're looking at a very big time frame on a daily, so it's obviously a little bit more danger come with this, and you have to be moving your stop losses a little bit more because we're looking on a very high time frame. And then we could probably create a good entry average over here for short, and we can bring about 25% back to us, because we've seen that here we had resistance at some point, and now we can look for this area of support. Let's take a look as well at Bitcoin to see a couple more examples and see how, that's too busy, and see how that could have helped us. So if we would take our Fibonacci retracement, which once this area looked very big and now it looks tiny compared to what's happening, and we're going to take from the top to the bottom, and to see how it's helping us, the extensions that we added to figure out where we're going up. So we know that here we have some resistance, which we have battled, and after we were able to break it, and again, you see where we're finding supports on these levels of Fibonacci on our way up. As we broke it, our first resistance that we found was at 1.27. So here we don't have any history after this top. So this can give us a very nice area to understand where we might find resistance and which area we have to break to be able to continue going up. So after we have some resistance, we could enter here in a little short and make some quick scalp for 5-8%, go up again. We found here resistance and our Fibonacci level 1.41, and after we broke through this area 1.618, where did we found support? We found support on this area. When we start going up, we found resistance at 2.236, and we found support again. We almost reached this area. Second time we reached 1.61. And this is time and time again giving us very good ideas. So this is on a very big time scale. And then we can also look at the smaller time scales. So we know here we had our top, and here we reached to our bottom, and we want to see what next can happen? So now we saw that we have a pretty strong support in these areas. We had 3 taps on this area and we start going up. Where we found our first resistance on the way up, very strong resistance, again at the 0.61, 0.65. So you'd enter here short, you'd enter here short, and we're looking that usually it's almost never reaches the 0.78. We kind of seen other examples. So you can have here one short, and maybe catch this area. But anyways, if you just would enter 2 shorts here, you would have a very nice average, and you could have catch until this area about 10%, 5%, 6%. So with the very low risk at the entry. So that would be a great entry. And then as we were able to break above it, we saw that we finding support right on 0.65. We broke our previous top with a beautiful candle. So you can see very nice breakout. And again, where we found our first resistance, 1.61. Where we went, 2.236. Again, we never been in these areas, but just from this, we know that a lot of people will be looking at these areas and probably will be taking profits at very meaningful areas like this, especially after such a huge upside. So this would give you a very good idea. So then we would look again here. It's not 100% we stop in here. When the price come in here, it's very hard to know, but we start seeing that we having some resistance. We had engulfing candle. So what do we think? Okay, that's a good time to enter a short. So then, if that's what I'm saying, you everything you learn in step by step, you have to look at everything. So we learned about the trend. So we could identify that we're on the uptrend. Then we learn the candles, the psychology behind the candles. Plus we have the Fibonacci, and then we're going to add the RSI, and this is going to be very helpful. So here, if we would enter short, we would be able to make a very nice profit with a very little risk, because there's many things, there's a lot of confluence showing us that it's probably a very good area to change our direction. So you put in very, very little risk. And here we're gonna find out what's gonna be happening. This is just some speculation, what I'm thinking might be happening, and we'll see with the time if I'm right or wrong. Let's take a look as well here with Fibonacci retracement, what happened. So went up and we not yet reached the 0.5. We reached the 0.382. And again, when we start going up, we found our resistance at 0.23. And I want to see if we cannot break this area. We're probably going to be continue going lower, and I'll be start looking, am I going to start putting some longs in this area to catch a bounce and see and scalp a little bit, get a little bit of profit and see what's going on. If we're going to be changing for the short term our trend, or we gonna bounce here, bounce again, and start going up. But we'll see what's happening. So that's how I'm using the Fibonacci retracement. And as well, when we're gonna be going down, here it can show us some more levels. We can take a look if these levels are any good with some support resistance. So we see here we had some support on our way up. In this area, we can see that we had some support as well. You can see here we almost reached it. Here we found support. Here we saw a candle that breaking from this area. So always we try here, because this was a pretty strong resistance here in January 2018. So we always want to look left if we have what to look at, and get a help from our Fibonacci retracement as well, and from all the tools that we already have in our pocket, to look at all of them and try to make the most educated trade. Okay, I think that would be all for today. And again, soon we'll be coming with the RSI Relative Strength Index, and it will be game changer. It will really help you when you combine all of your tools. Okay, and see you in the next lesson.